Welcome to the session. Topic of this session is predicting futures prices and valuing internationally traded commodity. Actually, in the project analysis, we find that in most of the projects which are long term projects, and their completion durations is sometimes 5 years, sometimes 2 years, sometimes 10 years, sometimes 20 years. So in that project, basically what happened, the cost and benefit or cost of returns which we get, which we incur in a project, they are extended to the more than 1 year. Actually, for example, we take the example of tractor. When a farmer purchases a tractor, he incurs the cost of the tractor in the current year or in the first year, but the benefits or the returns of the tractor is extended to, we can say, around 10 years. So there will be 10 years duration in which he will get the return of the from that investment in the tractor. So the problem here is to how to value what type of prices for the return of the tractor, and how to value the return of the tractors, which provide the return in more than 1 year. So how to account the return of the tractor, that type of problems we find in the project. In case of the when a farmers or a project, and there is a component of building is there. So sometimes construction of building take more than years, and the return from the building will be sometimes 20 years or 50 years. So in that condition, how to account the cost and benefits or cost and return of the building. So such types of problems arise when we estimate the cost and benefit of the project, input and output, to compare the different projects. Then sometimes we have the commodities which are of the international significance. The commodity is involved in the import and export activities. So how to determine of such commodities which are of international trade importance, and how to value these commodities. So that is another problems when we compare the different projects, the cost and benefit of the different projects. So in this session, basically we are going to discuss about the the how to find the best prices, and where the cost and the returns are involved more than years, and sometimes we have the inflation problem also. The inflation basically they influence the allotment of the the inputs, influence in the price of the inputs. They actually influence the project output. Actually, when we talk about the economic analysis, the inputs we use based on the opportunity cost principles, or based on the principle of marginal value productivity. So if prices changes in the futures, so how will be they impacting the project returns? So all such issues we are going to discuss in this session. Learning objective of this session is to discuss how to deal the situation if future relationship between the different prices change and the inflation problem is there. The price relations of different commodities, like what is the relationship between the prices of the input and output. So such this situation we are going to discuss, and basically how to find out the proper prices for the commodities that are internationally traded. So for the import and export commodities, how to find the prices. And also we will learn in this session the procedure for calculating the export-import parity prices for the commodities produced for foreign market. So here we will discuss the concept of export-import prices and how to adjust the prices for these commodities. So the projects sometimes they involve outlays in current, or sometimes in the current and future time period also. And that the project generate a flow of returns extended far in the future. So not only in the current year, the flow of return is extended to many years, sometimes 2 years, 5 years, to 10 years. So here we will how to judge about the future prices, and how to value the future prices, and how to account the future prices for the purpose of analyzing the project profitability that we are going to discuss here. And best way how to judge the future prices is to assume that the prices will maintain their present relationship. When we compare the prices of the input and output, the same relation which are present in the current year will be maintained in the future also, or the average relationship that born in the last few years will be maintained in the future also, that we assume. That is the best way. So here basically there are twin aspects need to be emphasized in this context. There are two things. One, whether this average relationship will change in future or not. So if we are talking about the input and output prices, where there will be we have some relationship between the input price and output prices. Suppose for more clarity, if there is a every year there is a 5% increase in the prices of input, and there is a 7% increase in the prices of the output. So this is the relation. The input prices increase by 5%, the output price increase by 7% every year. So this same prices in every year, the increase in the input will be 5% or not, or the increase in the output will be in the output prices will be 5% or will be there or not. That actually that type of relations we have to see. And then how to tackle the general increase in the price level, that is the inflation. So if there is inflation is there in the economy, so how to tackle that inflation? Actually that inflation also influence in the project decisions, and actually when we have the financial analysis and when we have the economic analysis, the decisions are different. So first let us understand the meaning of change in the relative prices. Some input will become more costly or less costly than the other input. So this is the within input. Within the input also we have to see the relationship between the prices, and the another condition is the output prices and input prices will change differently. Sometimes output prices increase, input prices reduce. So that type of population, there is a change, or there is a variation in the degree of change of input prices and output prices. Like I give the example, increase in the input prices at the rate of 5%, increase in the output prices at the rate of 10%. So in case of the financial analysis, when we talk about the financial analysis, so how to tackle this change in the relative prices scenario? So change in the relative prices means the change in the market prices of input and output, and which is directly reflected in the financial account of the project. So there is not much need to be bothered about the change in the, because they are directly accounted in the financial account of the project. So for example, a rise in the wage rate will reduce the incremental net benefit of the family. So hence the cost of the the wage rate is already included in the family account. So there is not need much to be bothered. But in case of the economic analysis, the scenario is different, and we have to treat the change in the price relation differently. A change in the relative price of an input means the a change in its marginal productivity. When the input prices change, so the level of the production will change automatically, because we always compare the marginal productivity with the price of the input. So when prices of input increase, our production will actually the optimum production level will be declined, or it will be at less number of the unit of the input. Or similar manner in case of the consumption good also, it means a change in the marginal utility of that good. So objective in economic analysis is to maximize the national income. So change in the relative price of an input means a change in the amount of the total input to be used in the project. So if prices increase, we will use less amount of the input. It lead to change in the contribution of the project to the national income. So if we reduce the if there is a change in the prices, there is an increase in the price of the input, we will have the less production, from the project, because we will reduce the use of the input, and that's why the contribution of project to the national economy will also be less. So such changes must be reflected in the project account in the years they are expected to occur. So rising price trend in the many agriculture inputs we have observing that, like the diesel, the fertilizer prices, they are increasing, and the wage rate is also expected to increase in future in developing economy because of the lot of development activities and the labor become more and more scarce resources nowadays. So in output side also, when you talk about that, due to shortage due to shortage of the output, or there is a high income elasticity of some products, like the oilseed and pulses, their prices are expected to increase in the future, and all such changes must be reflected in the project account. Now we'll move to the inflation. How to treat the inflation in the financial and economic analysis. When we define the inflation, it is a continuous rise in the general price level. When we talk about the inflation, in simple meaning, when we have 100 rupees with us, and today we can purchase 2 kg of sugar from the 100 rupees, and after 2 years, and we will be able to purchase only we can say 1.5 kg of sugar from 100 rupees. So here value of the rupees decline when there is inflation in the economy. So that is the simple meaning we can understand. So when in the society, when in the economy there is a continuous rise in the general price level, we say there is inflation in the society, and this is the important economic phenomena which indicate the economic stability and instability. So actually we need to account for this inflation. We have to consider this inflation when we talk about the comparing the cost or the benefits of the projects, of different projects. So it should be dealt appropriately in the project analysis. And here when dealing with the inflation in cost and benefit analysis of the project, the common approach is to carry out the analysis at the constant prices. Actually here instead of taking the prices on the current prices or the current, we can take the prices of the some constant years, prices of some constant prices of some basic year. That is the we can do in order to find out the actual impact of the project activity. Not the, actually we want to, when we have the project analysis, actually we want actually to measure the impact of the project activity, not the other factors like marketing, the price situations or other factors. So actually we want to, suppose we have the project to introduce the holding variety. So how much the contribution from the holding variety actually we want to measure in the project activity, or not the other factor due to increase in the prices, or that type of factor we want to remove. So here basically inflation also, actually we want to measure the real impact of the project in the on the society, we can say like. So in case of dealing when the inflation, we can assume that the prices of some years, say of the first year of the project, will continue in the future. So here we can assume that the same prices which are available, it will be remain in the throughout the project life. So like if we are purchasing 1 kg of seed of at the rate of 100 rupees per kg. So this 100 rupee per kg seed will remain throughout the life of the project, that we can assume. And the effect of inflation will be same on all the prices, in all prices which have the general same general relations. So the same, the effect of inflation will be the same on all types of commodity, all prices of the all the prices of the project inputs. So this will be the inflation will be the same. So here only we need to adjust the future prices for the expected relative change in the prices, and not for the changes in the general price level. And when we compare the project cost and benefit on the basis of these prices, the effect of the project on the participants in financial analysis or on the society as a whole in the economic analysis may be assessed. So here what generally we do, actually we use the different techniques like discounted measures of the project worth, like net present worth, benefit cost ratio, internal rate of return, and these techniques basically can be applied directly to estimate the project cost and benefit on the current price level. So here and it is also very easy, or it is we can say simple, involve less labor when we they compare the project cost and the benefit on the current prices. So advantage of using the current prices in the project analysis is that the all cost and benefit estimated will reflect the real prices, and will be in the current terms for the years in which they will be occurring, and project authority can anticipate the budgetary need of the projects based on the current price levels. They can estimate the future requirement of the project, and it is helpful for managing the finances of the project. Now we will move to the prices of internationally traded commodities. Like we have the how to deal with or how to find the prices of the internationally traded commodities. So we have the different various national and international sources for the price of the commodity of international importance. Like we have the various groups of specialists that follow price trends and market projection about the relative future prices of these commodities. And there may be a group in the Ministry of Agriculture or Farmers Welfare or in the Finance Ministry who monitor the international prices, and they make the projection about the future prices of the international traded commodity. And there are different international agencies and trade groups which can help us to in giving the prices of the international traded commodity, like World Bank, the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO, and there are different commodity organizations, international commodity organization like International Tea Committee, International Cocoa Organization, International Coffee Organization, International Wool Secretariat, the International Rubber Study Groups, International Sugar Organization. So these are the different commodity organizations available in the at the international level, and they manage their own commodities. All the information, prices, their future projection, everything is there with them. And there are other organizations like United States Department of Agriculture. They also maintain the prices information, and the Commonwealth Secretariat in London, they also maintain the prices of the internationally traded commodities. Now we will move to the export and import policy prices. Actually, this international commodity prices or international trade, when we have, we need to find out the appropriate prices for the valuation of the project output or commodities having significance in the international trade. So actually, the commodities which are traded as import and export, we need to find out the appropriate prices for their valuation, and for their cost and benefit or cost and returns, we need to find some appropriate prices for them. And here the farm gate prices and project boundary prices may be adjusted if the farm gate or project boundary prices follow the trend close to the international prices. So, and when we compare this farm gate prices with the project boundary prices with the international prices, and there is a some trend is there, and we can find out this trend, so we can adjust the international prices with the to get the farm gate prices or to get the project boundary prices. Then we can compare the cost and benefit of the project. So in case of the financial analysis for the international traded commodity, there are administrative prices, like farm gate prices, which is not allowed to adjust freely to world prices. And if there is price support or minimum support prices is there, so there is no need to be adjust according to world prices, because Here in case of the finance industry, we can use these administrative prices directly, which are determined by the government. So using this administrative price is appropriate in case of the financial analysis. But here it is important to note that the approach of adjusting the domestic prices by the same relative amount as foreign prices, here it ignore basically when we adjust the domestic prices, with the same trend which are having the trend in the international prices or foreign prices, it ignores the fact that the marketing margin is less flexible than the commodity price themselves. So thus less appropriate for project analysis to adjust these domestic prices to the the international prices. And the estimation of the economic value of the traded commodity or internationally traded commodity, that is the most difficult task, and actually it requires the estimation of the shadow prices based on the international parity prices. So here actually we need to compare the domestic prices with the international prices, and then based on the comparison or based on the cost involved in the export import, we need to calculate, we need to estimate some shadow prices. And basically shadow prices are the estimated prices at the farm gate by adjusting the CIF, the cost insurance freight charges, or the FOB, free on board prices, including by all relevant charges between the farm gate prices and the point of where the at the point where the CIP or FOB price is quoted. Actually, the difference between the CIF and FOB prices is that when we are exporting some commodity, and when we are where we are delivering the exported the commodities which are exporting. If we are delivering the commodity at the at the port of the exporter country, and suppose there is a export from India to the US, and so in the port where port of the India where we are delivering the goods, and from the responsibility of taking the goods from the India port to the US port is the responsibility of the purchasing country, the US. So if we are delivering good at the India's port, that is basically FOB prices. If as an exporter country we are delivering the good to the US port, so that is the basically CIF prices. So basically in CIF prices, which include the FOB cost at the point of the export, and it also includes the freight charges to the point of the import, and insurance charges, the unloading from the ship to the pier at the port. So actually it includes all the cost which are required to incur in the export of the commodity for delivering the good at the importing country, the port, and it includes the import duty and subsidies which are incurred by the importing country, and port charges at the port of entry for taxes, handling and storage and agent fees. All these charges are incurred by the importing country. And FOB prices basically it includes all the cost to get goods on board, but still in the harbor of the exporting country. So actually whatever the cost which are required to transport the goods from the production center to the exporting country port, so all the costs should include in the FOB prices. So here we should include the local marketing and transportation cost, the local port charges including taxes, storage, loading, fumigation, agent fee, and also include the export taxes and subsidies, and here we also include the project boundary prices and farm gate prices which are paid to the farmers. So here we can sum up this session that the predicting future price of the project input and output is must to compare the stream of the project cost and return which extended far in the future, and here one way is to assume that the prices will maintain their present relationship or the average relationship they maintained in the past few years, and based on this actually the prediction of the future prices is made to calculate the cost and benefit of such project, and the problem of inflation may be handled in the prices by making the analysis at the constant prices, which is the normal year prices we can say, and if the relationship between the sum of the prices will change due to different effect of inflation, the future prices have to be adjusted accordingly. And in the commodities, the input output that are important for the international trade, the international prices is to be considered, and here different international organizations are there from which we can get the prices of the international traded commodity. And for international traded commodity, actually their parity prices are to be found, and for that purpose we can get the parity prices by adjusting the CIF and FOB prices. With this, I thank you very much.